Dear students, so far we learned in our academics Python programming, then we learned about MySQL concept, that is database concepts, and also we learned computer networks, the way how we can work with networking concepts, different models, and also we are going to see some of the societal impacts of this when you are working with internet. Okay, so the way how we can see that, so now we are living an era called the information age. We are living in the era called information age, where we see that most of our activities, most of our activities are technology influenced. Most of our activities are technology influenced. That is, we are working always the activities, the data which we communicate, internet based. We are depending completely, be it making online payment. Yes, we are doing online payments, creating or development of own piece of art or information, such as writing articles or clicking photographs on internet and so forth. With the reach of technology to our day-to-day life, whatever we want to create our own data or we want to surf information on the internet, everything which we work on through internet, there has been a paradigm shift, and it has also raised specific issues and problems related to society, ethics and law. These are the things which we need to take care of when we are working with digital information through internet. Digitally, when you are making communications, we must be aware of that. So some of the problems related to society and ethics and laws which we need to follow. So things like which we are going to learn: digital footprint, net and communications are etiquettes, email etiquettes, and ethical issues, open source philosophy, copyright and other licenses, like the softwares which we use and those copyright. Okay, proprietary softwares and open source softwares and freeware softwares which we use, that we must careful on that while using those technology based applications. And cybercrime. So cybercrime, when you are working with internet online, the data which you copy it or you post it or you make changes. Okay, so those things which we need to take care of, that you should know the different rules, society rules. That is what which we call it as Information Technology Act. Information Technology Act, that crime rules. Then you should protect yourself, the way how you can live safely. Okay, so IT Act, cyber law, cyber crime, cyber law and IT Act, different acts also there. Whatever things which you do, what type of punishment is given. And e-waste management, digital, so whatever gadgets which we use to make this easier communication, online communication. Okay, the devices which we use, those, the way how you need to disposable those devices, recycle it instead of simply throwing on the earth. Then the way how we need to follow to restrict the societal problems. Okay, that is what e-waste management which we call it as, how we can protect the earth. Health concerns with technology uses, health concerns with technology uses. So this, based on this e-waste management which you throw out the places, open places, then what happens, this e-waste. Okay, so that is way which you need to look into it, the way how we can proceed. Same time, so threats to data. So threats to data is nothing but viruses. Okay, when you are working with internet online data communication, so data may be theft. Okay, it may be attacked and it will be accessed your information through internet. That is what which we call it as viruses attacking. And that particular threats, how we can handle that threats, antivirus, that is what which we call it as data protection solutions. Antiviruses which you need to make use to protect yourself when you are in online working with internet data communication. Okay, digitally when you are working, then you should protect yourself, that which we call it as data protection solutions, antiviruses which you need to make use for your safe side. Then another one is like firewall, an important solution to computer security, an important solution for computer security. So why we require firewall? Firewall, which is like there are two kinds of firewalls which you can see: software firewall program and hardware component firewall device, where which you can install hardware component for your entire network, so that outside unwanted attackings will be protected, which will not be allowed to your network. Same way, instead of hardware device, you can make use a program also, software program, which you can install for your network, so that you will be able to restrict the data which it is coming from outside network to your own network in our organization. That is what the main purpose of firewall, which you can make use to protect your computers. Okay, now we'll start with digital footprint. So a digital footprint is data that is left behind when users have been online. Okay, so when you are in online, you may be left some data when you worked with online, either wantedly or unwantedly, knowingly or unknowingly. You may left the data in online. There are two types of digital footprints, which are active and passive. So digital footprint is nothing but is data that is left behind when users have been online. There are two types of digital footprints, which are active and passive. An active digital footprint is where the user has deliberately shared information about themselves, either by using social media sites or by using websites. So active digital footprint is nothing but, so user itself will be sharing the information while using social media or websites. That is what which we call it as active digital footprints. Okay, and passive digital footprints is made when information is collected from the user without the person knowing this is happening. Okay, so when you are in online and your information may be collected without knowing you, so that is what which is called passive digital footprint. Okay, then examples of active digital footprints. What are the things which is takes place active digital footprints? Posting on Instagram, yes. When you have an application, social media application, Instagram, yourself you are posting data. Okay, so that is what which we call it as active digital footprint. Same like other social media applications like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media platforms. That is why, so cybercrime people, they used to say when you are working on online, okay, so you must be more careful the information which you post on social media applications or websites. Okay, so simply you can't post it. If you post it simply, if anything happens, then you are the responsible that content which you posted without knowingly. Okay, so filling out online forms, that is when signing up to receive emails or text. Yes, there are some websites which you visit and there may be some advertisements like attracting you, that you must careful that whether it is authenticated website or not, whether you need to provide data, the data will be secured or not. You must be take care of that while filling the forms on online. Okay, So agreeing to install cookies on our devices when prompted by the browser. Yes, there are some websites they allow you to accept cookies. So then whatever data you browse, that data will be stored. The information which you worked with their website and which will be recorded in the form of cookies. Cookie is nothing but small text data which we call it as a cookie. Text information which is also called as cookie. Okay, these are the some of the examples which happens active digital footprints. It means yourself you are doing the things, but you must be careful that also when you are posting the information on social media applications as well as websites which you visit. If you are posting any feedbacks and all and any e-commerce websites, okay, whatever data which you browse, that should be more intelligent manner. So examples of passive digital footprints: websites that install cookies in our device without disclosing it to us. Yes, without knowing ourselves, when you visit a particular website, those people automatically they may install cookie software, recording software, and they may access our information without knowing ourselves. Okay, that you must careful visiting websites, whether you are visiting proper secured internet information websites or not. Then apps and websites that you use geolocation to pinpoint our location. Yes, so especially when you are using mobile phones, smartphones, then the app which you install, then you must go through the instructions which they were specified, and then you accept that your location accessibility in our phone, which will be asked the app when you are trying to install, access the phones, okay, phone contacts, images, location of your mobile, your place where you are, your device location, this and all need to be accepted, then only the application will be installed in your device successfully. That you should be careful when you are visiting that. Okay, so simply you are not supposed to give acceptance without knowing their instructions which they have specified. Okay, social media news channels and advertisers that use our likes, shares and comments to profile us and to serve up advertisements based on our interest. Yes, when you are in social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, okay, so like this applications, then based on your like, the content which you see on the application, that particular application, according to that you will see some advertisements are displayed. Okay, so that is how it takes place. That is where which takes place this artificial intelligence, data analytics, where they predict based on your liking the information on internet through some set of applications which you use. According to that, so general information which they will display to you in the form of advertisements. Yes, next, how digital footprint is being used for marketing purposes. Okay, so digital footprint, how they use for marketing purposes. So consider right side, so image which shows that web visitor, which is nothing but ourselves, which we visit any website. Okay, then actual site visiting, then visitor leaves some information, whichever we type or post or share the information, that is what we are leaving the information on the internet applications ourselves knowingly. And there is another way is unknowingly also which takes place behind that, sharing the data. Okay, so that data which goes to the popular sites like visitor is brought back. Okay, so while looking at the information content, then there are some other advertisements which shown that automatically. So digital footprints are also known as cyber shadow electronic footprint or digital shadow are generally collected with the help of tracking cookies. Okay, with the help of tracking cookies. Whatever web pages which you visited, what type of information which you browsed on the internet, based on that, and this particular information will be shown to you based on the web pages which you visited. According to that, some information will be shown to you. How it will be stored, that information which you visited, in the form of cookies. These cookies are created while using popular sites. When you are visiting, when you are viewing the content information on internet online, okay, whatever we search is stored in this along with our dates. Yes, when you were visited, with time, date and time. Geographical positioning system relevant data, these are shared by actual site we are visiting to other popular sites. Popular sites in turn analyze this data and revert back in the form of advertise later on. For example, we search for a flight from some X location to Y location for a particular date. Okay, then when you want to travel from one place to another place, and if you want to trying to see the any offers which are available to book a ticket, either train or flight or cab, taxi. Okay, so then, so that information will be stored, and immediately after some time again when you visit particular application, they will show related to the information which you were visited earlier. Based on that, which will be shown to you in the form of advertisements. We all must be experienced while using mobile gadgets on internet applications. Why we should care about managing our digital footprint? For following four reasons: to protect our reputation, and to make save personal information, to protect our reputation as well as our personal information, to keep safely, and to prevent financial loss. Yes, when you are doing online transactions, internet transactions, then if you properly make use with secured manner, with appropriate websites, okay, so authenticated websites, when you use to purchase some products, yes, you should be protected. So prevent financial loss. If you use the valid websites, then you don't need to worry about it, your transaction which you do, banking, financial transactions. If any unwanted website which you visit, and if you do the transaction, they may store your information in the form of cookie, and later they may hack your financial data, which means they may take out amount from your bank account. That is what which we used to hear newspapers and news channels. So every time there are something happened through online transactions. Okay, they may send some links to you, and they ask you to click on that and to give basic details. You got some so and so prize money, you need to deposit some minimal amount, so that you will get this particular amount, such a way that messages also comes. That's why you must careful that. Okay, so to preserve our freedom, another important thing is to preserve our freedom. Risk due to digital footprint. Risk due to digital footprint. Privacy concern, scam, identity theft, fake websites. That's why you should more careful visiting website which is valid website, proper website, identified website or not. And identity theft, your information may theft, your images, your content, and your financial passwords protection, financial, okay, debit cards, credit card details, that and all, which you should take care of it. So how to manage digital footprints? Enter your name into several search engines, double check privacy settings, but don't trust them. Okay, so don't simply trust any website which you visit. Create strong memorable passwords. Periodically you need to change your passwords, so that it will be protected your accounts or applications which you use. Keep all our software up to date. Yes, You need to update your softwares up to date to protect your information safely. Review our mobile use, delete useless files, that is what temporary files. If you are using through mobile phone, gadget, internet or online websites or in your computer, so periodically you should delete that temporary files, okay, which you visited. So build reputation through behavior, build reputation through behavior. Then another important thing is net or communication etiquettes or email etiquettes. The way how you need to communicate when you are in internet or online communication. Other people, those who are there in internet, the way how you need to interact with them. Okay, the way how you need to respect them. That is what net etiquettes. Okay, communication etiquettes. Netiquette is short for internet etiquette or communication etiquettes over internet. It is just like etiquette, a code of polite behavior in society. Netiquette is a code of good behavior on the internet. It includes several aspects of the internet: social media, email, online chat, web forums, website comments, multiplayer gaming and other types of online communication. So when you are internet, the way how you behave with other people, those who are there in internet, which they are communicating to you, that is where more important. So things like internet uses, browsing websites and social media applications which you use, and there may be your contacts or your friends contacts. That is where you need to make that communication etiquettes, things which you need to follow to yourself to show that the way how you want to be. Okay, then what are the do's and don'ts which you need to follow when you are in internet or online browsing? Do's: keep messages and post brief, use discretion, protect personal information, obey copyright laws. As when you are visiting one particular site, which you need to follow their instructions which they have specified, their rules and regulations which they were specified. Okay, so you need to undergo their rules and laws. Help others as try, if you are able to do, help others, but don't misbehave with others when you are in internet or online browsing. Respect other people's privacy. Yes. Verify facts before reposting when you are using social media websites or applications. So simply sharing other people's shared information, first confirm that whether authenticated data or not. This is the valid data. Yes. If it is valid data, then if you reshare, no problem. If it is not valid data, simply if you without knowing, if you reshare it, then you need to face consequences which is defined by cybercrime laws. Okay, that way you must careful while reposting the content on social media websites. Verify facts before reposting, check messages and respond promptly. Thank others who help you online. As when you are in online or internet, the people, those who communicate with you, those who help you, then respect them. Okay, so good sportsmanship when playing online games is when you are playing digital games, then you should show that sportsmanship. Okay, good behavior which you can show that. Okay, these are the some of the qualities which you need to follow to protect yourself and save yourself. Okay, don't things which do not be done, which cannot be done when you are in internet or online: posting inflammatory or offensive comments or shouting with the communication chat, either voice chat or video chat, or with some pixels showing that. Okay, so that and all you are not supposed to do. Respond to internet trollers and post private or embarrassing images or comments. Okay, without knowingly simply responding internet trollers, those who are simply post some messages or keep on they make some communication, unnecessary communications. So that is also we are not supposed to do. Name call, so calling with their name or express offensive opinions, these type of things you are not supposed to do. Exclude people or talk behind their backs. Yes, behind the people you are not supposed to talk about them. Stick to the topic. Spam others by sending large amounts of unsolicited solicited email. Okay, unwanted emails. So data protection, how you can protect your data, refers to the practices, safeguards and binding rules put in place to protect our personal information and ensure that it remain in control. In short, we should be able to decide whether or not we want to share some information, who has access to it, or for how long, for what reason, and be able to modify some of this information and more. Consequences of unprotected data or data breaches: suffer from security breach or attack, physical data loss, hit with a virus, targeted by hackers, suffer from DDoS, which is nothing but distributed denial of service. Okay, so data protection, how we can do, consequences, what did happen, unprotected data. So loss of money, intellectual property at risk, and damage, downtime. These are the some of the consequences which may take place. So when unprotected data or data breaches happens, how we can protect our personal data online? Through encrypt our data. Encrypt is nothing but keep passwords, keep on changing your passwords with high standard, and keep passwords private. Do not share with any other people passwords, whichever applications which you use, especially financial applications or credit cards or debit cards. And don't overshare on social networking sites. Don't overshare about your information or your family information on social media. Simply use security softwares, like licensed softwares. If you use, then you'll be able to protect your data. Avoid phishing emails. Be wise about Wi-Fi. When you are using Wi-Fi data, internet, then you must be careful that public Wi-Fi's when you are using. Be alert to impersonators. Safely dispose of personal information. So IP, intellectual property, IPR, intellectual property rights. So IP is a property created by a person or a group of persons using their own intellect for ultimate use in commerce, and which is already not available in the public domain. So intellectual property is nothing but a person or group of persons who they create their own data using commerce. Okay, so in public websites themselves which they create earlier, which was not posted on the websites. So examples of intellectual property, which are an invention relating to a product or any process, is, suppose if you create any new product, whichever field you are working, okay, or whichever field you are studying, if you want to research on that, when you have created something new, that particular product, then you can take a patent. Okay, so that information, a new design which you create, a literary or artistic work, and a trademark, a word or a symbol and a logo, etc. So example which you can see here, so copyright which you can take. Okay, so that product which you design, the model which you design. Okay, so you can take copyright, so that if any person copies without your acceptance, then you can put a file, cyber crime. So intellectual property right is the statutory right granted by the government to the owners group of people of the intellectual property, or applicants of an intellectual property, to exclude others from exploiting the IP commercially, internet intellectual property commercially, for a given period of time, in light of the disclosure of his her intellectual property in an intellectual property right application. So something new, if you invent it, then you can take patent. That patent given some period of time. Within that, no other person can take your information. If they simply take it without your permission, then you can file on them and they need to punish. Why should an intellectual property be protected? Intellectual property is an asset and can be exploited by the owner for commercial gains any manner. If owner may intend to stop others from manufacturing and selling products and services which are duly protected by him, the product which you design, and you can, if anyone copies your model, and you can stop them, you can file on them case, and so that you will get the financial amounts. Okay, the government will be punished them. Intellectual property owner can sell and or license the intellectual property for commercial gains. Okay, intellectual property can be used to establish the goodwill and brand value in the market. Intellectual property can be mentioned in resumes of its creator and thus show competencies of its creator. So intellectual property rights certificate establishes a legal and valid ownership about an intellectual property which you created your own way, information or model or product, okay, which you created. Then if you take patent, that certificate, intellectual property rights certificate, then it's your own. You can sell that rights also. Kinds of intellectual property rights. Patent, to protect technologies, the Patent Act. Okay, so patent which you can take, that which we call it as the Patent Act, related to technologies. Trademark, to protect words, signs, logos, labels, the trademark, which you will see each and every product, some logo, some sign. Okay, like that, those things can also be taken trademark, and which you can take that intellectual property rights certificate to protect your logo. Okay, or labels or signboards which you use. Design, to protect outer ornamental configuration, the Designs Act, whatever design which you model. Okay, that also, new models which you created relate to your own field. Okay, then you can take IPR, intellectual property rights certificate. Geographical indications, to protect region specific product, the geographical indications of goods act is within particular part of region related to that particular people which you invented something new. Yes, you can take it as within that particular region patents. Then copyright, to protect literacy and artistic work, the Copyright Act which you can make use. These are the some of the patent acts which you can take, which you created related to particular act, you can take according to that. So authentication. IPRs are protected in accordance with the provisions of legislations of a country specific. In India, IPRs can be protected and monopolized as per the Act. Some of them are the Patent Act 1970, the Designs Act 2000, and the Trademark Act 1999, the Geographical Indications of Goods Act 1999, the Copyright Act 1957, and Protection of Integrated Circuits Layout and Designs Act 2000, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers Rights Act 2001, and also Trade Secret. Okay, these are the some of the property rights in India which was designed. Information Technology Acts, particular year related to particular patent. Plagiarism, another thing is plagiarism. Plagiarism is the act of presenting the words, ideas, images, sounds, or other creative expression of others as it is your creation or your own. The word plagiarism is derived from the Latin word plagere, which means to kidnap or abduct. Okay, copyrights, plagiarism, copyright. Okay, So control plus C, control V, copy paste, which we call it as. Why is it important to understand plagiarism? Plagiarism is nothing but you are stealing someone information. It may be a text information, or it may be a images, or it may be a voice, or it may be a models which they designed and which they kept on social media, and simply if you copy paste it. Okay, so that is what which we call it as plagiarism. Okay, what are the things which you need to take care? So plagiarism is stealing of intellectual property. Someone writes, you are stealing. Plagiarism is cheating some other person's information when you are trying to get, which means you are cheating them. Plagiarism is an academic offense, like academic related informations, articles which they post, and simply you copy it. That is what which we call it as plagiarism. Plagiarism is academic theft. Okay, so academic offense and academic theft related to the academics. Two types of plagiarism: intentional plagiarism, unintentional plagiarism. Intentional plagiarism: copying others work, borrowing or buying assignments. So simply you just copy from others information. That is what intentionally when you do. And cut paste from electronic resources. When you are working with electronic resources, you simply cut and paste it for yourself. Downloading essays or text from the internet and presenting as our own work, and changing and morphing, and we say that it's my own work which I have done. That is what which we call it as one of the type of plagiarism is called intentional plagiarism. Then unintentional plagiarism: not knowing how to acknowledge or incorporate sources of information through proper paraphrasing, summarizing, and quotation, careless copying or cutting and pasting from electronic databases, quoting excessively, failure to use our own voice. This is unintentional plagiarism. How to avoid plagiarism? Use your own ideas. Cite the sources when someone else's ideas are used. Always acknowledge the sources and tell your reader where the ideas are from. Yes, suppose if you wanted to make use some other person's information or models or products within your work, then you simply make use with the source indication where you have taken from, so that you will not be punished. You are showing that you have taken from so and so places, and that you are utilizing where which helps you for your work. Then that is the reason you can show that sources where you have taken from. Then at that time it will not be punished. Rewrite others ideas in our own words. Is if you have seen or related to your work some other place related idea, then instead of as it is, if you are copying that idea, you can write it in your own words related to your work. Then you no need to worry about it. It will not be punished. Take careful notes. Develop your writing skills. Develop your own writing skills. Yes. Then license. Software license is a document that provides legally binding guidelines to the person who holds it for the use and distribution of software. Distribution of software. Okay. So typically provide end users with the right to make one or more copies of the software without violating copyrights. Without violating copyrights. Software license, like whichever you purchase, if it is a proprietary software, and then based on the amount which you pay, they may give you permission to make use that particular software. Okay, so that is what benefits of using licensed software. Using unlicensed software against the law. So if you are not purchasing and simply if you are using, you are against the law. If they find out and if they find file a case and you need to pay them. The right software license can save our money. We can receive around the clock license support. As when you purchase, it will be protected your device as well as your information, and if any problems comes they will be supporting. If it is unlicensed software when you are using, You will not get any support, technical support if any problem occurs. Software copyright is used by software developers or software companies or proprietary companies to prevent the unauthorized copying of their softwares. Free and open source licenses also rely on copyright law to enforce their terms. So licensed softwares, paid versions available, freeware also available, open source also available. But free and open source softwares also, they will be specifying some rights, laws. We need to undergo that. Reason for copyright our software. Our work is an asset, protect our rights. It protects our software structures. It protects software code, sequencing and organizing. It enhances protection against license agreements. When you use the licensed software and when you create and when you develop software project, then you don't need to worry about it. If it is open source tool, when you use, you need to undergo their laws, copyright rules and regulations, whatever they specify. In software copyright, difference between licensing and copyright. Okay, copyright is a type of intellectual property protection and licensing is a kind of risk control measure that can be applied to control copyright laws exposure. So the licensor, copyright owner, can grant permission that usually takes the form of a licensing agreement to use its copyrighted material. This agreement specifies the exact material to be used, purposes the work could be used for, and the duration of the license. When you purchase particular product, they may be giving some period of time to access their software with all the features which they allowed you to make use. After that, again you need to repurchase. Free and open source software. So free and open source software is a kind of software that all allows users to not only freely run the program for any purpose but also provides users access to its source code. Moreover, it also allows us to modify as we wish as well as freely distribute copies of the original version or their altered versions. There are some freely available softwares, those who can take it and who can copy it and who can share with others also. Freeware versions. But you need to go again their laws and rules and regulations. Following criteria must be met for free and open source software. Source code must be included. Anyone must be allowed to modify the source code. Modified versions can be redistributed. The license must not be require the exclusion of other. It must be free. It must be free. Examples of free and open source software. As operating systems like Linux, Ubuntu, these are the free and open source softwares. Free means which you can make use the software and you can share with, you can distribute with others those application software, and freeware you will not get the source code to modify it, whereas in open source, yes, you will be paying some basic minimal amount registration fees so that you will get the software code also. You can modify it and again you can reshare it, you can distribute it. That is what operating systems examples. And DBMS, database management systems examples like MySQL, MongoDB, SQLite which we call it as, some of the database applications which you can make use free and open source. Free means only application you can download and you can install, you can share it, the application, distribute it, but code cannot be given. And code, if you want it open source, that you need to pay some minimal registration amount so that you will get the code, and you can, if you have the your own logic implementation, some particular feature on that particular software, you can change it and you can update it and you can resend with them organization. and then they will validate the feature which you added, and then they will repost it. Programming languages like Java, PHP, Python, as internet browsers like web server, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Apache Tomcat, HTTP server. Some of the examples for free software or open source software. Types of software based on use. Free software are those which are freely accessible, freely used, changed, improved, copied and distributed. It provides all types of freedom. The term free means freedom at very little or no cost. The source code is available at payment level. Like some registration payment is done, then at that level will be given to that source code. Otherwise, which will not be given. Open source software can be freely used, changed, improved, copied and redistributed, but it may have some cost for the media and support for further development. Source code is also available with open source software. It can be modified and redistributed with some guidelines. The license may restrict source code from being distributed and modification to maintain the author's integrity. A software which is free as well as open called free and open source software. The software which is free as well as open called free and open source software, or free, libre and open source software. Both are same. Types of software based on use. Proprietary software. These softwares are neither open or not freely available. They must have some cost and source codes also not given since it is proprietary of the developer organization. No change, copy and distribution are allowed. When you purchase one particular software from the organization, you are not supposed to copy it and you are not supposed to change because code will not be given, and you are not supposed to distribute with others. Freeware. These are available free of cost. They can be used, copied, distributed, but no modification is allowed because source code is not available. Shareware. These softwares are freely used, copied and distributed for certain period of time. After expiry date, you have to purchase or uninstall them. Modification is not possible due to non-availability of the source code. These are the demo version and freely distributed for trial purposes. Yes, there are some trial 1 month trial softwares, yes, which you can download and make use, and you can share those software, but which will not be modified anything. And after time period 15 days or 20 days, 30 days, then you won't be able to make use the application until you purchase. Okay, so we'll continue some other e-waste management, cyber crime. Okay, so next session, this is somewhat the information which you need to take care about. So when you are working in internet or online, when you are using digital gadgets, then you must be safe oversight to keep your information safe, as well as to keep about proud of you. Thank you. We'll continue.